How Air Jamaica lost $1.2 billion, then got sold for $1. 1968. Jamaica gained independence 6 years earlier. The new nation wanted its own airline, a symbol of sovereignty, a connection to the world. Air Jamaica launched with 2 planes and a dream: fly Jamaicans to New York, London, Toronto, bring tourists to Montego Bay and Kingston. For 20 years it worked. Air Jamaica was profitable, respected, a source of national pride. Then politics took over, and in 40 years, Air Jamaica lost $1.2 billion, every dollar funded by Jamaican taxpayers. This is the story of how a government-owned airline became a money pit, how politicians used it for votes instead of profits, and why it was eventually sold for $1 to a billionaire who'd already lost $200 million on it. The golden years, the political interference, the death spiral, and the lesson every government-owned airline learns eventually. 1968-1980. Air Jamaica's first decade, small but functional. 3 planes, routes to New York, Miami, Toronto, London. The airline was government-owned but professionally managed. Experienced aviation executives ran operations. Politicians stayed out of daily decisions. It worked. Air Jamaica made modest profits, built a good reputation, expanded to 6 aircraft by 1980. Then Michael Manley's government decided Air Jamaica should be a tool for development, not just an airline, a jobs program. 1980s. The Manley government forced Air Jamaica to hire politically connected people. Overstaffing became policy. Routes were chosen for political reasons, not profitability. Air Jamaica was told to fly to unprofitable destinations. Small Caribbean islands with no demand. African cities that lost money every flight. The airline couldn't refuse. Government owned it. Ministers made the decisions. By 1985, Air Jamaica was losing money. Not catastrophically, but consistently. $20–30 million per year in losses. The government covered them from general revenues. 1990s. New government. Edward Seaga promised to fix Air Jamaica, make it profitable, run it like a business. It didn't happen. The political interference continued. Different party, same problems. Politicians wanted cheap flights for constituents. Air Jamaica was forced to offer discounted fares, charter flights for political events, free upgrades for connected people. The airline couldn't compete with American Airlines, which flew the same routes with better planes and no political baggage. By 1995, Air Jamaica's losses had grown to $50 million per year. The government kept bailing them out. Politicians justified it. Air Jamaica is essential for tourism, for connectivity, for national pride. But other Caribbean islands had successful tourism without national airlines. They let foreign carriers handle the flights. Worked fine. Jamaica insisted on keeping Air Jamaica, even as losses mounted. 2000s. The losses accelerated. By 2003, Air Jamaica was losing $100 million per year. The government tried privatization. They sold 75% to Caribbean Airlines International. A private consortium would run operations. Government would keep 25%. It failed. The private operators quickly realized Air Jamaica was unfixable. Too much debt, too many political obligations, too much government interference. They walked away within 2 years. The government took back full control. By 2007, Air Jamaica owed $800 million. The airline had negative equity. It was technically bankrupt, but kept flying because the government guaranteed its debts. Every year, the government injected $120 million just to keep planes in the air. Money that could have gone to schools, hospitals, roads. Instead, it subsidized an airline that couldn't compete. Then 2009 happened. Global financial crisis. Jamaican economy contracted. Government revenues collapsed. Jamaica couldn't afford to keep bailing out Air Jamaica. The losses had reached $1.2 billion over 40 years. The government made a desperate decision. Find someone to take it. Anyone. Even if it means giving it away. Enter Butch Stewart, the Sandals resort owner, Jamaica's richest man. Stewart had already bought Air Jamaica once in 2004. He'd injected $150 million trying to turn it around. He'd failed, lost most of that money. given it back to the government in 2007. Now in 2009, the government came begging again. Please take Air Jamaica. We can't afford it anymore. Stewart negotiated. He'd take Air Jamaica, but only if the government wrote off all the debt and paid him to restructure. The deal, Stewart paid $1 for Air Jamaica. The government wrote off $800 million in debt and gave Stewart $150 million in restructuring funds. Jamaica paid Gordon Stewart to take an airline he'd already failed to fix. It didn't work this time either. Stewart tried for 2 years, lost another $200 million. Air Jamaica kept bleeding cash. 2011. Stewart admitted defeat. He couldn't save Air Jamaica. Too much debt, too much political interference, too much competition. He merged Air Jamaica with Trinidad's Caribbean Airlines, essentially giving it away again. Caribbean Airlines took the routes and a few planes. They rebranded everything. Air Jamaica ceased to exist in 2012. After 44 years, Jamaica's national airline was dead. Total losses, $1.2 billion. All paid by taxpayers. What went wrong? Everything. First, government ownership. When politicians control an airline, they make political decisions, not business decisions. Routes chosen for votes, not profits. Staff hired for connections, not competence. Prices set for popularity, not sustainability. Air Jamaica couldn't compete because it wasn't allowed to operate like a business. Second, national pride. Jamaica refused to let Air Jamaica die, even when it was clearly failing. Politicians insisted Jamaica needed a national airline for sovereignty, for tourism, for pride. But plenty of Caribbean islands thrive without national airlines. Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua. They let international carriers handle flights. Jamaica's insistence on keeping Air Jamaica cost $1.2 billion. Money that could have built infrastructure, educated children, improved healthcare. Third, no accountability. Nobody was ever held responsible for Air Jamaica's losses. Ministers who forced unprofitable decisions, promoted. Executives who oversaw losses, given golden parachutes. Employees who overstaffed the airline, kept their jobs until the end. The only people who paid were Jamaican taxpayers, who funded $1.2 billion in losses over 44 years. Air Jamaica isn't unique. Almost every government-owned Caribbean airline failed the same way. BWIA in Trinidad, closed 2006. Total losses, $500 million. Liat in Eastern Caribbean, collapsed 2020. Total losses, $400 million. Bahamas Air, still losing money. Subsidized $30 million per year by Bahamas government. The pattern repeats. Government owns airline. Politicians interfere. Airline loses money. Government bails it out. Repeat until collapse. The only Caribbean airlines that survived were privately owned or professionally managed without political interference. Caribbean Airlines, Trinidad survives because Trinidad's government mostly stays out of operations. But Air Jamaica? Pure political interference for 44 years. And it killed the airline. Today, Jamaica has no national carrier. International airlines fly to Montego Bay and Kingston. Tourism is fine. Connectivity is fine. Nobody misses Air Jamaica except nostalgic Jamaicans who remember the pride of having our own airline. But that pride cost $1.2 billion, about $1,000 per Jamaican citizen, extracted over 44 years in taxes and bailouts. Money that could have transformed Jamaica. Instead, it subsidized an airline that couldn't compete. The lesson is clear. Government-owned airlines don't work, especially small ones in competitive markets. Politicians can't resist interference. They use airlines for political purposes. Hire cronies, fly unprofitable routes, offer populist pricing, and when the airline inevitably loses money, taxpayers pay the bill. Air Jamaica proved it over 44 years and $1.2 billion. Jamaica finally learned the lesson in 2012. But other Caribbean governments haven't learned. Bahamas Air still loses money. SVG Air in St. Vincent struggles. Guyana Airways collapsed and relaunched twice. Every Caribbean government wants a national airline, for pride, for sovereignty, for politics. None of them wants to admit the truth. National airlines are expensive vanity projects that enrich politicians and bankrupt taxpayers. Air Jamaica was Jamaica's $1.2 billion lesson. The airline that flew for 44 years on taxpayer bailouts and finally died anyway. Sold for $1 to a billionaire who'd already failed to save it. Merged into a foreign airline. Disappeared from the skies. And Jamaica learned what small nations eventually learn. You don't need a national airline. You just need flights. International carriers will provide them. Cheaper, better, without costing taxpayers $1 billion. Air Jamaica's legacy? A cautionary tale about government-owned enterprises, political interference, and the cost of national pride. 44 years, $1.2 billion in losses, sold for $1, then given away. That's Air Jamaica. The airline Jamaica couldn't afford but refused to kill until it was already dead.